We are very informal, as you can see. Thank you all for coming. My name is Graham Chappell, so you'll have seen my name on different emails and things that have been sent out over the last few weeks. I'm going to hand over to Andrew Crocker, who is the Vice Chairman of our Awards Committee.
Okay, thank you, Graham. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
I was a teacher, so I'm not used to using these. I'm used to sort of projecting to the end, but you don't want to be subjected to that. Okay, welcome everyone to our awards presentation of the inaugural Peter Calvert Young Sportsperson Award for 2019. I'd like to extend a special welcome to representatives of Peter Calvert's family who have been able to join us today. Unfortunately, Jean Calvert herself has been unable to travel up from her home in Devon, although she had been hoping to be well enough to join us. We will be hearing a short message from her later. Many of the trustees of the Tottenham Grammar School Foundation are present this evening, and I would like, on their behalf, to thank you all for coming. We would also, in particular, like to thank those people who nominated our 3 award winners. An explanation is needed with regard to the number of awards being presented today. It was the trustees' original intention to present just 1 award. However, other nominees clearly stood out, and it was decided for this year only, as it was the award's first year, to give 2 additional prizes. These have a lower value when compared to the main award that was originally publicised, and we refer to them as highly commended award winners. Over the last 30 years, the Tottenham Grammar School Foundation has financially supported education and sport in the London Borough of Harringay. Since 1988, many thousands of young Harringay residents have benefited from the Foundation programme of awards, scholarships, bursaries and grants, either directly or through their school or through one of our partner organisations and clubs who also work with the borough's young people. The former governor of the Tottenham Grammar School, Peter Calvert, was at the centre of this process that led to the establishment of the foundation in its current form. And I think it's fair to say that without Peter, we would never have been the effective vehicle for supporting education in Harringay over the last 30 years. Now, throughout its first 15 years, Peter managed the Foundation's day-to-day operations and designed and implemented procedures that today we still use. Sadly, Peter died in March 2018 following a long illness. Peter had a love of cricket and rugby, but he would always encourage the promotion of every sport as a means of fitness and community participation. He had a particular interest in cricket for blind and visually handicapped young people. After consulting Peter's widow, the trustees of the foundation decided to create this special award in his memory. It's quite likely that many of you today will not have heard of the Tottenham Grammar School Foundation before this year. The source of the money which it gives away each year can be traced back over 300 years to the will of Sarah, Duchess of Somerset, who died in 1692. At one point in her life, she lived in Bruce Castle, which is just a short walk away from the stadium. Interestingly, there's another historical link between the Tottenham Grammar School and Spurs Football Club. Apparently, in 1882, some pupils from the school who were members of the Hotspur Cricket Club helped to form Hotspur Football Club. This club subsequently became Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. Over the last 5 years, the Grammar School Foundation average total awards and grants given to schools, clubs, charities and other not-for-profit organisations has exceeded £1 million each year. Last year, Somerset grants totalling £226,000 were agreed for sports-related activities. A wide variety of sports in the borough received these funds, either directly or indirectly. The Haringey Sports Development Trust receives a significant number of Somerset grants from the foundation each year. That trust will occasionally act on behalf of some of the smaller sports clubs in the borough and often provide additional support to new clubs. Some of the Trust's initiatives are designed to create and sometimes recreate clubs in underrepresented sports in targeted locations. I'm very pleased to say that Bert Gravis, who is the CEO of the Haringey Sports Development Trust, has been able to join us this evening. Whilst we do not have a certificate or yet another cheque for him, we would like to publicly acknowledge his commitment to and support of young people's sport in the London Borough of Haringey in the last 30 years or more. We sometimes wonder what would have happened into the borough's sport if Burke had not stepped up all those years ago, and many of us dread what would happen when he eventually retires, if he ever does.
Thank you, Colin, for that.
Right, good evening. It's a real privilege to be here on behalf of my family. I thought I might get a bit tearful, but I'll try and pull myself together. My mum, unfortunately, can't be here. She lives in Devon, and I'll read what she has to say. So this is the message from my mother. It is with deep regret that I am able to be with you today for the very first presentations of the Tottenham Grammar School Foundation Sports Award, which have been set up in memory of my late husband, Peter Calvert. I am sorry to have to admit that age and distance has been the main cause for my absence. Of course, all the family still miss Peter, and we wish to express our gratitude to the trustees for establishing the award, which means that his name will live on in the borough where he spent his early life and where he received his education. Firstly at Stamford Hill Primary School, and then of course Tottenham Grammar School. He was always grateful for the wonderful education and support which he received from both schools and for the start it gave him in his career in local government. It began with the old London County Council and then progressed into education administration with the Inner London Education Authority. He was delighted to be asked to be a trustee of the Tottenham Grammar School and eventually to be asked to set up and run the foundation when the school closed in 1988. He really enjoyed and was dedicated to that work, knowing so many young people from the borough of Haringey benefited from the various awards and grants. On the social side of his life, Peter always enjoyed playing rugby and cricket, not only for the health benefits but also for the camaraderie that went with it. When his playing days were over, he enjoyed umpiring crickets for the Metro Club for blind and visually impaired players. He even umpired them at Lord's and the Oval. He was a member of the MCC and of Middlesex CCC, serving on their membership committee. He always encouraged and supported young people to participate in sport and was particularly keen for people with disabilities to be given the opportunity to take part too. The saddest thing for me today is to be unable to meet and congratulate the 3 young people receiving the first of these awards. To have worked so hard in what are troubled times is wonderful. You are a fine example to others. Finally, I would like to say that the family know that Peter would not have expected such recognition, but we are delighted. So from me, my family, and I know that Peter also wants to say, well done, girls. Can I just add, from my point of view, he supported all the grandchildren in sport, and for me to see girls winning the award for football, my son played for Kent, and my daughter became a dance teacher. So this is really very poignant for me. He would be so, so proud. And I'm pleased that I'm here to represent him.
Okay, thanks. And on to the presentation of the awards. I have to say, we're absolutely delighted that Leslie King, former captain of Tottenham and England footballer, and who is now a Spurs club ambassador, is here to help us make these presentations. We would also like to thank Tottenham Hotspur Football Club for hosting this ceremony for us, and in particular, a big thank you to Ali Minto and Tony Stevens and the Spurs PR team for making it possible for us to use this auditorium. And so to the presentation of the actual awards. Each winner will receive a framed certificate, a cheque and an embroidered badge showing the Somerset's crest, which they might want to sew onto their kit bag or tracksuit. And so to the awards. Okay, do you want to go on?
Rumi and Gessa.
Okay. Ruby. Ruby is a young football player. She was nominated by her teacher, Jane Daly, at the Branch Neville School for the Deaf. The nomination was supported by Becca Citron, the manager of St John's Ladies Deaf Football Club. On their nomination form, Ruby is described as an incredibly strong striker and has the pace to push back and defend counter-attacks. She appears to be everywhere on the pitch. Okay, Nadine. Okay, Nadine is an accomplished dancer. She was nominated by her dance teacher at the Aaron Crosby Academy of Irish Dancing. Nadine won the 2018 European Championships and recently competed in the World Championships in North Carolina. In addition to aspiring to successfully compete internationally, she also aims to pass on her skills to younger dancers by developing her coaching experience. In between her studies at Brighton University, Nadine has worked as a teaching assistant at the Royal Ballet School and the Region New Heights Academy. So, well done, Nadine. And Araya. Okay, Araya is another young football player. She was nominated by her coach, Adam Ali, at the Haringey Girls District Football Team. The trustees noted in particular Araya's long-standing commitment to girls football in the borough, her outstanding achievements in terms of goal scoring, helping her team to win national titles, and her self-directed willingness to mentor and support the training of the young girls' teams, which led to them winning their own national title. So, well done, Araya.
Thank you so much for being here.
Brilliant.
And thank you all for being here.